Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the fourth and last free class that I'm giving on advanced English writing. Now, today I will be sharing with you how we can continue to keep in touch and also what other classes I'm offering and that where you can continue to learn from me. Now, today's topic is how to make your writing an unforgettable experience. Here is a part of a poster from a popular movie in 2019. I'm going to show you the answer at the end of the class. So make sure you don't run away because you will be asking yourself for the rest of your life, what is this poster? I have already uploaded the 4 basic and 3 advanced writing video lessons, and you can access them at this website as well as at the mytuition.live website. And if you find them useful, please share them with your friends, share them with your teacher. I know you've all heard the advice, show, don't tell. The best writers don't tell you. And quite frankly, they don't just show you. What do? They make you feel it, live it, taste it, touch it. Storytelling is all about being in the moment with the characters. On Monday, I showed you how to show, don't tell, and today I'm going to show you how to take it even further. The first thing I'm going to share with you is how do you make readers like you or like your character? This is a secret that I'm going to teach you. You make use of something called the underdog effect. If you know what is an underdog, then you'll understand this. Otherwise, just take a look at the examples. How can you make use of the underdog effect? You can use some self-deprecation in your essay. Take a few digs at yourself. If you are writing about strong characters, demonstrate a surprising vulnerability in your character. If you are writing about weak characters, demonstrate an astonishingly admirable aspect of your character. What do I mean? Well, let me show you some examples. For self-deprecation, if only I was as smart in real life as I am in my head. If you self-deprecate, people will find it amusing and they will start to like you, especially if you're giving a speech and also in writing. With strong characters, for example, the rich man wished that he had friends who liked him for his character rather than his money. So this person is a strong character, is rich, but his vulnerability, that means his weakness, it's kind of like Superman needs a weakness, kryptonite. He wished that he had friends. And if you have a weak character, for example, the poor man's word is as good as gold because he keeps his promises, even if it costs him. You have a weak character like a poor man, but you give him something that people can admire, like he keeps his promises. And this is how you make use of the underdog effect. Now, let's practice the underdog effect, shall we? Write a sentence about yourself using the underdog effect. Now, Pon has written, I wish that I would have the same amount of study time as my playing time. It seems like you're trying to say that you play more than you study, and it's not really self-deprecating. Say something like, I wish that I was smarter. Then people would think, oh, okay, you wish that you were smarter. That means that you're not very smart, which is self-deprecating. The second tip I'm going to share is make your writing vivid. What do I mean by vivid? Vivid means very, very detailed. Details, details, details. Details matter a lot. Now, you can write details about the settings, about the characters, about the emotions, about descriptions, and also about actions. I happily went to the nearby ice cream parlor with my grandmother. She loved ice cream too. This is a fine sentence, but you can make it more vivid. Let me show you how to do it. I've color-coded the parts that I changed, so it's easier for you to tell what I've done. My grandmother looked at me with a glint of excitement in her eyes as we skipped hand in hand towards the ice cream parlor around the corner. In the second example, there are more details. For example, in the first one, I said happily went. It's not much detail there. But over here, how did I go? I skipped hand in hand with my grandmother. How do you know I'm happy? Because we skipped. And look at the orange part, nearby. How near is it? Is it one step away? So you need to give more details. Like, for example, around the corner. She loved ice cream too. My grandmother looked at me with a glint of excitement in her eyes. In this way, you know that she loves ice cream too. This is how you show instead of telling. And also keep in mind that you need to give as much detail as possible. When people read your essay, they are painting a picture in their heads. And if you don't give them details, if you don't give them colors, then the picture in their head is going to be kind of boring. And you don't want that. You want them to have a vivid picture in their minds so that they have a good impression of you as a writer. And if the reader is an examiner, the examiner will give you a higher grade because you can spark their imagination. So don't forget, whenever you write, be vivid. Details, details, details. Aren't they the same? What is the difference between those words? Now, these two sentences look pretty similar. Well, they're not. Mark Twain, I'm sure you're familiar with that name. He is the father of American literature, and he's a very funny guy. You should check him out. He says, the difference between the right word and the almost right word is the difference between lightning and a lightning bug. So if you are able to use the right word in the right place, then you will be able to really impress. So don't stop. Put in more details in your essay and think about what are the right words you can use in those details. The next tip is make your writing visceral. What is the meaning of visceral? Visceral is a feeling you can feel in your gut. Engage your reader's feelings. How do you engage your readers' feelings? You engage all of their senses. You have the sense of smell, the sense of sight, the sense of hearing, sense of taste, and the sense of touch. So engage these 5 senses when you are writing, and you will give your reader a visceral experience. Besides that, you can pull at heartstrings. Pull at your readers' hearts. How do you do that? Use trigger words that elicit emotion. There are certain words in the English language that when you read it, you feel something instantly. And sometimes there are words that really, really go deep into your heart. I'm going to share with you some examples of these words in a minute. Finally, one of the best ways to be visceral is to leave a hook at the end of every paragraph. A hook is a line, a phrase, a sentence that makes your readers curious and they want to read what happens next. Let me give you an example. My grandmother's house is a traditional stilted wooden house in a rural village. There's details there. It's very simple. What if I make it visceral? What would it look like? Now, I have color-coded the next sentence based on these 3 ways you can be visceral. My grandmother's house in the hinterlands. So hinterlands means very rural place. Is a creaky wooden sanctuary held up affectionately by massive stilts, which remind me of elephant legs. But that is not the best part. If you take a look at the word that's highlighted in blue, creaky. Creaky is a sound. So when I put creaky in the sentence, immediately in your head, you can hear that sound or you can imagine it. And the words in red, these are words that evoke emotions in people. When people read sanctuary, they feel safe. When people read affectionately, they feel love. When people read massive, they imagine something big. And the orange part here, this is the hook. And when you add this to your sentences or to your paragraphs, it makes people curious about, hey, what do you mean by the best part? I want to read more. I want to see, I want to find out what happens next. These are 3 very simple, very practical ways you can be visceral and you can make your readers feel what you want them to feel. And if you are able to do that, especially in the exams, PT3, SPM, and whatnot, then you will have written a superior essay and you can score. Now, here are some examples of trigger words. There are many, many, many more. If you come across words that you read and it hits you, then you know this is a trigger word and you would do well to remember that word and use it in your daily life. and make it part of your life so that when it comes to the exams, it's already part of your life. You don't have to cram, you don't have to memorize. Now, we are going to practice right now how to be vivid and visceral. This is a reaction from this guy over here. Now, I want you to write about this in one sentence, and in that sentence, be vivid. Vivid means details, details, details. Visceral, engage senses, use words that evoke emotion. And number 3, add a hook at the end. Unknown wrote, unknowingly to him, he is suddenly pulled by his wife, but that is not the end of it. Now, Unknown has used a very good hook. So it makes the reader curious, like, well, so what's the end of it? I want to read more. And that is something that you can use in your own writing. Okay, Jun Heng. Where are you from, Jun Heng?
Puchong, being pulled to the door by an unknown stranger, his face wrinkled like an old witch. But behind the door, you'll find out more disgusted part.
Jun Heng's sentence has a lot of words that evoke emotions. Stranger. When you read the word stranger, immediately you feel a little bit of fear. Witch. When you read witch, it's a very strong word, meaning something very negative about that woman. And disgusted is also a strong word. It shows that you really, really disapprove of something. Make sure that you know how to use them in your essays as well. There are no examples of other senses besides sight. And this is a problem. 90% of writers out there only focus on sight because it's logical, right? Human beings depend a lot on our eyes. But we have other senses. So if you are able to, in your essay, use the other senses like smell, taste, hearing, touch in your writing, then you will have an advantage because you are different. You engage more senses beyond sight. If 90% of writers are doing that, you want to do something more, right? You want to be better than the rest of them so that you can score. Now, I'm going to give you one more example. Write about this amazing girl. Write one sentence about this amazing girl. Hello, Afika. Where are you from?
I'm from KL. I wrote she could hear the grateful sounds of doctors, so she poured her talent to make a suitable suit for them.
Now, Afika wrote about the grateful sounds of doctors, and that is one example of using the sense of hearing. If you want to take this a step higher, try to show rather than tell. Maybe you can try, she could hear the happy coos of the doctors as she presents them with the work of her hands, the hard work that she's cut herself doing. So in that sentence, you get a sense of hearing, cooing from the doctors, and also you get to feel some pain because I talked about her being cut. And that is engaging the sense of touch. If you want to practice this more specifically together with me, then you should think about signing up for some of my classes. And finally, let's practice with this expression. Nah, you don't have to do that. I'm just kidding. I'm going to be offering these 4 classes, and you can check them out at bit.ly/English with Jared. I have a class for Forms 1 to 3, which is PT3 reading and writing. This is where I show you how you can score in the PT3 exam. For the Forms 4 to 5, I have an SPM reading and writing class where I show you how to score in SPM English. And if you want to score, you want to get the highest Cemerlang grade possible, then I recommend that you join the A+ elite team. Now, this is limited to 10 people, and these are the 10 students who will get the most attention from me. And I will be helping you, and you will be helping each other to score the highest grade possible. I'm also offering personal coaching, one-on-one English lessons. You can contact me for more details. What do you think? What is the name of this movie? Yes, this is a poster from Parasite. Today, we learned about number 1, the underdog effect. Number 2, vivid writing, which is details, 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 as well as visceral writing, which is using your senses and using trigger words as well as hooks to elicit the feelings and the emotions of your reader. I have read a lot of SPM essays, and very few of them To be honest, out of the 400 essays that I read every year, I can count with one hand how many essays actually impress me, how many essays actually do the things that I am teaching you in my 8 free classes. So take a look at what I'm sharing. If you like it, if you want to know how to do it, sign up for the classes that I'm offering. And I will help you to apply them and I will show you how they are actually done. In order to keep in touch after this, we can use a WhatsApp group. So I've created 2 groups, one for PT3 and one for SPM. Use these links to access the WhatsApp groups. Now, what are these WhatsApp groups for? They are for sharing and learning from peers at the same level. And in these groups, I will also share activities, quizzes, tips, videos, posters, quotes, idioms, everything that you need to learn English little bit by little bit. And you will also be receiving notifications. I hear about programs that give you certificates, and sometimes you can get international certificates for free, which strangely many teachers don't hear about. And I will share these opportunities in these groups. Our friend Eddie Lim knows a lot of very rich people, and these people have a lot of gifts that they want to give away, a lot of products that they want to promote. So you can learn about these giveaways in these groups as well. When I hear about scholarships, when I hear about exchange opportunities, what are exchange opportunities? These are opportunities for you to go abroad for a few months in a cultural exchange. Finally, if I hear about competitions that would be of interest to you, I will share them in these groups as well. That's it from me. Thank you so much for being with me. I look forward to seeing you in one of my classes. See you, everybody. Take care. Bye.